This week, Taylor Swift is kicking off the European leg of the Eras Tour in Paris. However, it looks like there may be some changes to the show we've become familiar with over the last year. With a new album released a few weeks ago and some suspicious rehearsal videos teased, all things point to a new section being added to the concert. But what will that mean for the rest of the setlist? In this special episode, we're revisiting our countdown to the Eras Tour series to investigate how the Tortured Poets department might affect the upcoming tour. So back in the day, over a year ago at this point, we had a little series where each week we counted down to the Eras Tour by going back over every single Taylor Swift era and talking about how the performances of that music was done back in the day and what we thought would make it to the Eras Tour. In the end, obviously, it was very different than what we imagined. We imagined a lot of mashups and cutting quite a lot of music out. And in the end, we got, what the Eras Tour is, in which she has a specifically made block for almost every era, except for poor Debut, as we know. It looks like even though Debut hasn't got its own moment, the Tortured Poets department might be getting its own moment.
Yeah, so basically, unlike the previous episodes where we were kind of looking at kind of previous Taylor tours and stuff like that, and then analysing eras, we're going to kind of look at some of the evidence that we have that suggests why the Tortured Poets department is going to be on the Eras tour. And basically the kind of main catalyst of all of the kind of rumours around the Tortured Poets department being on the Eras tour is based on the second For a Fortnight YouTube short video that Taylor put up on her YouTube channel. In the video, she's kind of rehearsing for the next leg of the Eras tour. And in this footage, there seems to feature a few unfamiliar props and shots. I think that this footage kind of firstly, before we get into it, I feel like it's kind of a mix of the original rehearsals and also the kind of new Tortured Poets rehearsals. Do you kind of agree that there's kind of a bit of a crossover?
Yeah, it does look that way, just because some people have pointed out that she's wearing kind of like similar things to photos we've already seen. Not saying that she can't repeat outfits, but it seems some of it anyway is from a year ago, whereas other parts look very, very different, in contrast, very new, because we're not recognizing things, props, and like you said, and like movements and choreography that we haven't seen before. So this could be basically teasing a whole new section. That's what it seems like. And it's funny because previously we have discussed, as we neared the album, what would she do on the Eras tour, and we were kind of thinking, well, she might want to explore it in
like
the
a surprise song,
exactly, on the surprise song section or something like that. We didn't think that she would change it up this much, but it seems that that's the way this is going. And the biggest indicator of that is the sign. It seems like a sign or a barrier kind of thing with the TTPD logo slapped right on it. I mean, you couldn't be more obvious than that, right?
Definitely. That was the most obvious sign, was this kind of metal bar with like a white TTPD sign. And also, while Taylor's kind of holding the sign, she appears to be wearing like kitten heels, which is also a shoe that we haven't seen and seems to replicate the kind of shoes that she wears in like the Fortnite music video. So that was kind of the first one. There's also another little clip where the dancers, Taylor's backup dancers, are wearing top hats and holding canes, and it kind of looks to be like looks like they're kind of doing angel wings.
Yeah, it looks like something that we haven't seen before at all, especially, wearing the top hats and the canes. Some of them, like you said, seem to be wearing different things. And new choreography, basically. That's what it looks like. So that's a very curious bit, because that obviously points towards it's not just going to be a little moment, it's a whole choreographed moment.
Exactly. And weirdly, that kind of moment reminds me of the blank space choreography on the 1989 World Tour with the top hats and the kind of little sticks. Like, that was actually something that the kind of tortured ex-lovers of Taylor's, supposedly, that was their kind of dance. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, that weirdly reminds me of that.
Oh my God,
but we definitely haven't seen that on Eras Tour.
Tortured ex-lovers.
Yeah, tortured ex-lovers, potentially.
The layers. Wait, you might have just figured out an Easter egg even before it's been laid for us at all. That's actually potentially.
Yeah.
What a curious thing to point out.
That is definitely, those were kind of the big ones. And then also the one that we'd also previously seen in a video shared by Taylor, I believe on YouTube Shorts as well, around the kind of like was it pre-Eras Tour kind of Speak Now?
Yeah.
Potentially Taylor's version time. There was kind of a video of all of Taylor's microphones, and there was a white microphone which we haven't seen featured yet.
Yeah, it's
so that is the
funny.
other big kind of indicator.
I remember when those images came out, I kind of was trying to see which microphone was being used for each era, and there was just this white one. And in my head, I just thought, oh, haha, that's probably just the practice microphone. Here we are. Perhaps it's going to make an appearance, it would seem. Also, there are other clips where she seems to be playing, although because it is in black and white, can't be 100%. It looks like she's playing a white guitar. It could be the pink or the blue one, but obviously because of the filter.
I did think that. I was like, oh, there's a white guitar. Is that potentially the Lover one that's like pastel pink and blue?
Right.
And just coming across as white, but it does seem quite white.
Right. Yeah, so that could be another moment.
Who knows?
Also, there's a clip of her sitting on like a stool. Again, that could just be a moment where she's just sitting around and wanted to just like sit down for a minute and practice the acoustic set. You know what I mean? Instead of standing there. Nevertheless, we've never seen that set up before. So again, interesting things, definitely.
Yes, no, and I think yeah, like you said, that could potentially be like, because even stuff with like in the Reputation, the footage before she comes out for the Reputation era, when she's walking, her like trouser legs, they both have like a trouser leg and a snake sleeve going up, whereas in the actual outfit it's only one leg that has a kind of trouser leg and the other's exposed.
Yeah.
So these could potentially be stuff that were maybe cut and changed and are maybe original footage. So it's kind of hard to tell, but the big signs are definitely that Torture Poet sign, the top hats, and the canes and stuff, because that is totally new and that is not something we've seen, or even is akin to something we've seen.
No, it's completely different. But going into now the realm of speculation, because that is everything that we know and everything that we have for right now. Speaking of a section dedicated to this album, where do you think it would fit in the show? And then we'll get into how it might affect the show. What would be the domino effect? But where would you place it? Between which eras? Because it's interesting. We have such an established order. It would be funny to kind of break that order in a way, right?
Exactly, yeah. And even just like the visuals, the way they kind of merge into each other and stuff is already kind of done. So there would have to be a kind of behind the scenes effort as well to kind of change that up. But lots of people have been discussing at the end of the show, because naturally it's the most recent era rather than maybe ending with midnight. And there's also that kind of door that comes down, and people have been associating that with that video. Yeah, that kind of video. I don't really believe it. I think that Karma is the perfect ending. There's not really a song on Torture Poets. Yeah, there's not really a song on Torture Poets that I feel like would be a good kind of ending. And I just think that also maybe people that aren't overly familiar or don't keep up to date with all Taylor Swift news the second it kind of lands might think that that is the end of the show, because they might have watched the movie or seen other clips and thought, oh, we'll get up and leave. So I feel like that's not really the most sensible place to put it at the end of the show. So I was thinking that the best kind of gap for me, and where I think I could see it fit, is between like Speak Now and Red. That seems to be, for me, the best place that I think it would fit. How are you feeling?
Yep, completely agree with you there. It is, again, it's right in the middle, so it's a nice moment to put it. Speak Now into Red is the only transition between eras that is chronological in order. Every other era is all mixed up, so it would be another way to kind of like mix it up a little bit more. Also, like you were talking about, the visual effects between Speak Now and Red aren't really so much of a blend, because obviously we have more like a pause where we have that moment of rolling out the car with the music and opening and closing.
Yes.
Whereas, for example, between Reputation and Speak Now, on the other hand, they're very much crossed over in the sense that we have the literal snake rolling out and then the rolling in of the Speak Now. So like the purple and stuff. So, and I
even like Folklore 1989, the hut like glows kind of, it goes
neon. Again, with Lover and Fearless, we kind of get the burning down, and then you get all the sparks and the golden glow of the Fearless era. And I agree with you with the outro. Karma is such a good outro. It gives such a good moment to like thank everyone, the dancers, the band, you know, the backing singers, everyone involved. It's really, I don't know, it goes really colourful, well in my opinion as an outro. Yeah. I think I agree with you. Bang in the middle, new section, exciting, very exciting. I think so. I like that placement. In my head it's there, but who knows? I can't see anywhere else at the moment, but who knows? I guess turning to the other question of when, more like not really if anymore, when this section is added, how will it affect the rest of the tour? What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, hopefully it doesn't. I just
Oh.
this has been my biggest fear, is that I'm
Right,
really
before we
happy with the
make
set
it.
list, and I
Yeah.
exactly, I really like it, and I don't really want much change, because I'm really worried that stuff that's going to be cut is potentially stuff I really want to hear. Like Long Live is just been such a dream song of mine to hear live, that I'm just worried that potentially the cut songs, or stuff that might be cut, might be stuff that we've already seen be cut, for example, with the Eras Tour movie. And there's a
Yeah.
couple of songs that I wouldn't be too worried about, The Archer being one of them, but Long Live, I really love that moment, and I think it just sums up the whole Eras Tour. And I'd be really quite upset if we missed that. But I feel like surely, unless the Torture Poets Department is going to be the shortest era in terms of like setlist time, surely we can't, add another 20 minutes onto the set list that's already like 3.5 hours.
It's correct. That would be crazy. It would be like
we'd be looking at 4 hours nearly.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people, again, whenever we speak about what might be cut or whatnot, and obviously it's absolutely fine to express, sadness for losing some songs, and it's fine to express frustration for not seeing some songs. But in the end, obviously, we appreciate anything, and we're just very lucky to even be able to experience any of it. But I do agree with you. It would make it a very long show, which, more than anything, I think it would be possible for Taylor, because she's very athletic at the moment. She's been at the gym every day. She's
on
like
it.
trained. But I am not. And I might not be able to make 4 hours without sitting down for at least one. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure the adrenaline would kick in and I'd be fine. Or if I had to sit down, obviously
definitely.
we all can. Unfortunately, Taylor cannot. But it is a demanding thing. I don't know, a lot of people are talking about, because there is only one opener for the European leg, potentially there is more time for
start
Taylor
earlier.
to start earlier. I think that we might see a few songs disappear, and hopefully, if the indication of the Eras Tour movie is anything to go by, it won't be the end of the world. Like, I don't mind seeing things like The Archer go. Obviously, I'd love to see them, but it's fine if not. Things like, I know this is so sad, but 'Tis the Damn Season. I love that song, but if I had to trade
me
it
too.
off,
I love it.
it's fine. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the
Yeah.
world. However, Long Live, I need her to keep. And I don't know, it's such a moment, like you
Yes.
said, it's such an integral moment for the Eras Tour.
And the fact she gets out like the koi guitar and stuff like that.
No, it's just such a moment. I hope it hangs in there. I really do. But I do think some Wildest Dreams, some of these could be potentially in a little bit. Folklore era is quite big, quite a long era. Perhaps again,
it's quite hefty already.
could be in the danger zone. Another thing people have been discussing is perhaps instead of completely removing some songs, she might shorten some of the songs that she sings in full, like cutting the second verse, as she does with quite a few songs on the set list already.
Yeah, or potentially even the Torture Poets songs might be shorter.
Oh yeah,
because that's the thing as well. The Torture Poets songs are naturally quite longer. A lot of them push the 4-minute mark.
Yeah.
So potentially she might cut those down as well, or we might be in for mashups. She has been doing mashups as surprise songs.
Maybe.
So potentially
maybe
she's going to do that with Torture Poet songs.
Some changes that lead
like
to
not
mashups.
not like mashups between eras,
No.
but like the Torture Poets
In
have
the
like
era.
Torture Poets mashups. Yeah, exactly. Like internal mashups as such. I don't know. I really don't know. I think
I know.
we'll have to wait and find out on Thursday, see what happens.
Yeah. That's the only thing we can do. I think we're all going to be... Paris is going to be... just everyone's going to be watching that live stream. It's crazy.
Yes.
But we'll see. I think the last thing that we can discuss before we leave it all up to fate is which songs do we think could make it? I'm thinking 4 or 5. Maybe 4, maybe 5. I don't know. That seems to be like the average if we look at the longer ones compared to the shorter ones. 4. The only one that I'm pretty much happy with saying that is going to be there is Fortnite.
Yes, Fortnite, 100%. It's the single.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Basically, every era, bar Speak Now and
Lover.
have had
the single.
They had their lead single. But yeah. Whereas, like, Speak Now kind of makes sense because Enchanted Weirdly is now bigger than Mine is.
Oh god,
so
yeah. Definitely.
Makes sense. But bar Lover and Speak Now, everything else has had its lead single or / biggest single.
Yeah.
So Fortnite makes sense, but the rest is quite hard. I do think I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I think that would
That'd
really
be fun.
work.
It would be
in the
so
stadium.
full circle. of it all.
Yeah, it's be a bit of a
See it.
meta moment,
It
like a song
would.
about the Eras tour being on the Eras tour.
That'd be so fun. I really hope so, yeah.
Other than that, it's quite hard to really think what would be.
Yeah. I mean, some of the
Because we might
songs...
potentially have an acoustic moment.
Yeah, I mean, if we're thinking that she's going to be playing a guitar suddenly, maybe a little acoustic moment. Some of the songs that have been pushed, like, for radio and things by her team have been songs like Down Bad, for example. So, you know, that would be fun for me.
Yes.
But Daddy, I Love Him has also kind of been pushed a
Yes,
little
yes,
bit.
yes, yes, yes.
That
yes,
could be
yes,
there.
yes.
It would
Guilty
have
as
to be
Sin.
cut down because that's a hefty long
Yes.
song. So,
yeah, it'd probably be like intro, chorus, then the kind
Bridge.
of verse that's about like burn my life down bit,
That's
and
it.
then
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like you said, I can do it with a broken heart. I'm feeling that could definitely be there.
Guilty as Sin.
Perhaps. I mean, there's quite a good batch of fun songs to choose from.
I'd be very happy with that.
And I'd love a little acoustic moment with just one of the anthology songs, just one of the extras. That would be fun because they are all pretty much, most of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are very like slower, shall we say, more acoustic, more toned down than the bombastic songs of the A-side, shall we say. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Very interesting. Any final like hopes that you really, really want? Like which song would you be like, I don't mind Long Live going for? Or maybe not that, but
there's not a single. No, there's literally not a single song I would give up for that.
No,
I don't know. I think it's still so early days to really, because we haven't heard any of it live anyway. So
I know.
It's kind of like, whereas before,
this is such a unique situation.
Potentially heard bits, yeah. Like even with like Folklore and Evermore, we'd kind of heard like Willow live very briefly.
True.
And we had the kind of
August
Folklore Long
Betty.
Pond, so kind of August Betty, yeah, exactly. So there was kind of like tidbits of stuff, and even like Anti-Hero, we'd heard her do it like on the guitar at the 1975 concert. So there was always something where you're like, okay, I've had like a glimpse, but with this I'm like, I genuinely have no idea. And I do believe that one of the dancers said that wait till you hear these songs live. So I think that they're going to get like a bit of an Eras Tour remix maybe, and kind of give them more of a stadium feel, because at the moment they feel quite intimate. So I'm not sure if they're going to be kind of given maybe a slightly different production, amped up a bit like 'Tis the Damn Season,
right?
Give them a bit more of a stadium feel.
Oh, 'Tis the
So
Damn
I have
Season.
no idea. I
never knew.
Yeah, I have no idea what to expect.
No,
it's
hard to say really. But it's very exciting. It's very exciting to see how it all unfolds.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll all be in tune this Thursday to see what happens in Paris, how this all goes down, what will change, what won't, and as always, we'll be commenting on it. We'll be having words. And if you wanna check that out, if you wanna stay in touch with us, then you can follow us over on Instagram. Our handle is @SwiftlySpokenPodcast, or you can subscribe over here on YouTube. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you leave us a like. And finally, let us know in the comments, which songs do you want to hear on the Eras Tour from the Tortured Poets Department?